Hey guys, welcome to Tech Life. My name is Julio. Glad you're here. So I am going to make this kind of a quick and probably poorly made video because I want to talk to you about my new laptop. It is a System76 Lemur Pro, and I guess it's called the Lemp11, which is the newest version of it. I think it just got released 2022. So I know a lot of people have the Lemp10, the previous one, and I haven't seen very many videos on the new version, so I thought I'd just put some information out there in case you are curious. So let me start with some issues I've had. So I have had my computer for about 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe just right about 2 weeks. I have had a few issues, but yeah, so let's get through it. So, okay, so from the very first time I booted it up, the very first time, the touchpad did not work. I could see the cursor, but it was stuck on the bottom right, and there was no movement whenever I touched the touchpad. So that was a little concerning. I was able to go ahead and go through the boot up process. Everything worked okay. I think, and I haven't had that issue, I've done reboots several times in these past 2 weeks, and that was the only time it happened. I think what may have caused that was that the computer may have just been too hot, maybe, possibly. I'm in Texas, and when UPS dropped off the box, I mean, the whole thing was hot. Like the cardboard was hot, the computer was hot. I don't know. That's the only thing I could maybe think of. Again, it happened that one time and that was it. So maybe not. Let me see. There is a dead pixel on the screen, which I will show you. And unfortunately, I don't think there's anything I can do about that, because it does say on the System76 website that unless there are more than, I believe, 6 dead pixels, which is the industry standard, they will not replace it. So little annoying. I don't see it often, but it's definitely there whenever you can't see it, like when, you know, the whole screen is black, or like if you're watching a movie and it's a very dark scene, you would probably see it. Don't use it much because I have it connected to a monitor. I'll talk my peripherals here in just a second. Another issue I've had, I have my external monitor. It's a LG 34-inch ultra wide. Connected, and when I connected it to the computer, worked immediately. Everything I've connected actually to the computer works immediately, so there's nothing to do, it just works, which is very nice. However, when I did do a reboot, it was not finding the monitor. I would have to unplug it from the computer and then plug it back in. So anytime I have to do a reboot, that would not work, which was annoying. My previous computer was a 2018 MacBook Pro. Huge difference between the two. But I do notice that on this computer, sometimes the fans do run, and when they do run, they are a little louder than they were on my MacBook. So it's just noticeably louder. They don't run all the time. If I'm doing something, like I had to unzip a large file that was like 5 gigs, I definitely heard it then. If I'm installing something, it usually works a little harder, and it does spin up the fans, and they are a little louder, not to like the point where it's like excessive, I guess, but they are louder. You're definitely going to hear them. What else? Okay, so customer service. I've made 2 customer support tickets. I did one on July 14th, which I think is a Thursday, and then I made one on the 16th, which was a Saturday. The first was about the touchpad not working on boot up, and then the second was about the monitor not being picked up on reboot. So I heard back from customer service on Wednesday, on Wednesday the 20th for both of those. So a little bit of a delay, nothing horrible, but you know, I guess, if you know, the weekend, don't count the weekend, 3 days. So I guess that's not bad. And I went ahead and told them they can close the first one about the touchpad because that seemed to have resolved itself. And then we did troubleshoot a little bit with the USB-C. During that time, I discovered that using an HDMI cable seemed to resolve the issue. So I could connect via HDMI instead of USB-C to USB-C, and on reboot, the second monitor would come up. So I went ahead and just left it at that. All right, what else? Hardware. Let's talk about the hardware. The computer itself is very light. That's a good thing, you know. I mean, I guess if you move your computer a lot, which I don't. I mean, in my house I do. I work from home, so I don't move it a lot. But if you travel with it outside of your house, I mean, I guess it's nice that it's really light. I think the downside to it being so light is that it lacks that sturdy, that feeling of like being well made. Like my MacBook Pro, heavy and it feels solid. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It feels solid, right? We just bought my wife a Lenovo Yoga. I think a late 21 model. It feels solid. It's got some weight to it, right? This computer is like so light. It doesn't feel, it's like when you touch it, it doesn't feel like it's poorly made. You know, the components itself feel good. It's just really light. I think I've said that a bunch of times already. The mouse, the touchpad is smooth. It doesn't, you know, again, coming from a MacBook Pro, which probably has the best touchpad and a large touchpad, I've used some older computers that just had really bad feeling touchpads. This one doesn't feel that way. The clicking on the touchpad is not that great. Again, I'm coming from the MacBook, so it just, where you can pretty much click anywhere on the touchpad and it just works. Here, you're really locked into the bottom left general area. The top right corner isn't going to be the best. So here it's very easy to touch. Here, still easy. See, I have to push really hard all along the top, especially this top corner, very hard. And I'm not even sure if it's doing anything. Oh yeah, I can feel it, and I really wouldn't be using that very much anyways, but most of the time I'm over here. Gestures work. I use four fingers for, it's smooth enough, so it seems to be doing it. So that works okay. This is also from System76. That's their launch keyboard. That thing is fantastic. Nothing bad to say about that. Absolutely love it. It's got all these connections in the back, 2 extra USB-C, 2 extra USB, 2 extra high-speed USB and 2 USB-C. So all I can say about that is buy it. Super awesome. There's my general setup, so you can see that I have the laptop there, all the wires that run it. There's that. This does run to the keyboard to give it power, and then speakers. And I have speakers because I need them, and so will you. That is the worst thing about this computer, unfortunately. The speakers are horrendous. There's not much more I can say about that. Just the sound, the speakers are underneath. The sound is muffled because I guess it's coming, I don't know if they're pointing down or pointing up, but it just doesn't sound good. I use the MX Master 3 via Bluetooth. It worked, and so there's my MacBook right there. That's what so I have the one especially for the MacBook, and I was concerned that it may not work, but it actually works just fine. No issues there. Again, here are the speakers that are connected via USB-C. I have Ethernet connected to the keyboard. Works just fine. Earphones. nothing has been an issue whenever I connect it to the computer, so that has been pretty nice. Let me see if I can show you guys a little bit more. I mean, you'll see pictures on online that look much better. It is a fingerprint. It is a fingerprint magnet, so I guess maybe some people care about that. I honestly don't care about that. Now I'm keeping my experience only in this video, at least, only to the hardware and using, you know, the computer itself, and not Pop! OS. This is my first daily driver of Linux. So just really quick, I mean, Pop! OS I think has been great, but there's been some learning curves for me because, again, I don't use Linux all the time until now. But as far as the hardware and everything, would I buy it again? Oh, and I'll throw up on the screen what I paid for this. It was just at $2,000. And I also, again, bought the launch keyboard for $285, I believe. I'm leaning towards yes. I think I would buy it again. But it's not a definite yes. Like, I've been on Mac for many years, and it was like, yes, it just felt great. I mean, everything worked. It just felt high quality all the time. So yes, I have no issues buying a MacBook, hands down. I really enjoy using the Linux system and everything on this. It's just the hardware. Now I paid $2,000 because I improved my specs and everything. I think starting off it's $1,000. If I was to get a MacBook Pro, a 14-inch MacBook Pro, spec'd out the same way as mine. Now I have 24 gigs, and for the MacBook Pro, at least for the 14, I believe you can only get either 16 or 32. So it's not apples to apples, but everything else being the same, I can get, or it would cost me, I think $3,200. I looked it up the other day. $3,200 to get a MacBook Pro, where this was $2,000 if I don't count the keyboard. So that's a big savings. I mean, if I want to pay $1,200 extra for it to feel better when I hold it, you know, maybe System76 could do that, and they'll charge me $1,200 more. I'm definitely happy that I have it. I think I could recommend it, and you won't be disappointed. I feel like now I'm just rambling. I really just wanted to get this out. Overall, like from 1 to 10 on how the components are, how the computer feels itself, I think a 7.5. If it had like a better screen, you know, maybe it'd go up a little bit, but so would the price. Oh, the keys on the keys on the keyboard feel good. Some people seem to care more or notice that more than I do, but I don't. I mean, they feel absolutely fine. On my MacBook Pro, it had those, I think they were called like the little chiclet ones. Felt pretty bad. Like, that's the only time I've ever been like, wow, this actually feels bad. Yeah, these feel good, but again, I don't use it that often. Almost all day long I'm using my external stuff. If there's something specific that I can try and answer for you, please leave it in the comments, and I'll try and get back to you. I might make another video on Pop! OS, and I might try and make it actually better than this one. Overall, Pop! OS has been super fun to use. I really no complaints. Again, everything works on it pretty much, so it's been fun using it. I think that does it for now, and I will see you guys at the next one, if there is one.